now, or did it start at 6 o'clock?
You just lost 30 seconds now.
Thank you. I'm just checking. I'm Leonie from I work at Africa Cocoon, who is an NGO. We have 5 centres in South Africa, 4 of them in Johannesburg, Orange Farm, Diepsloot, Alex, and we have one in Ramfontein at the old TMI, or just across from the Constitution Court. And then we have a centre in Leonie in Cape Town. We develop communities in a concept of cradle to career. We have in our centres ECDs, early childhood development, child and youth development, which is after school for the grade 1s to grade 12. We also do career development for the post-matrics, and we take anybody up to 35 that can speak good English. All nationalities, and we really have quite a lot of non-South Africans that come for this. We support these programs of ours from an holistic manner, with primary health care programs, so all social services programs, as well as nutritional approach. We feed all our children every day. ECD children get 2 full meals as well as 2 snacks. The other school, after school children get a full meal before they go home at night, so at least we know that they have 1 good meal a day. And we also feed our staff. We have 560 staff members, and 99% of them come out of the communities. So we basically create jobs for 590 people. Our career services, we do mainly job readiness programs, and we do a lot of IT. Because today, you know, if you can work a computer, the door is a little bit more open than what if you cannot use a computer. We started about 3 years ago looking at the culture of the organization and decided that we need to do something about this. And what mainly was the problem was that we're an NGO, so you think that everybody that works in an NGO are there to give, which is not necessarily always correct. Because some of the people, because we employ only out of the communities, some of the people are there because they have nowhere else to go. They have no other options, then they have no other opportunities. And I'm specifically talking about the staff now. And what is also quite challenging in such an environment is the fact that the people that you expect to be instrumental in the management and handling and training and education of the children come from exactly the same environment. They were subjected to exactly the same circumstances. They have the same gaps in their education. For those that have passed matric, it was at something like 30%, or majority of them do not even have matric, for what matric is worth today. We introduced a concept of legitimate leadership. And that is what I'm mainly going to share with you, is the concept of legitimate leadership. You have 2 types of people in the world. You've got you can argue that point, being psychologists. You get males and females, and some of them get confused sometimes, so you've got something in between. You get rich people and poor people, and you know, there's a lot of other concepts that you can do. From where I stand, you have 2 types of people in the world. You get givers and you get takers. Some people are here to give from what they have and from what they are prepared to share. And then other people are just takers. am the first to admit that not everybody, or not necessarily everybody, is 100% of either. But most people have a dominance in giving, and most people have some others have a dominance in taking. If you look at the management of people, and this topic of my talk is trust is the currency of the modern society. If you look back, it's not necessarily that modern. But if you look at management of people, what do you require from those people, from the managers? And the first thing is the genuine concern for the people. To see people as human beings and not as human resources that will add to the bottom line of a company. What do you require of those managers? You require of them to enable their staff to be able to deliver. How will they actually be able to do that? And that obviously is by the environment that they create in the workplace. Now, I'm sure that for those of you that have worked for some years, even not that long, but some of us have worked a bit longer than others, one actually very many different types of managers cross your road. And you can think back in your career of the ones that you like to work with and the ones that you didn't like to work with. And you often hear people say, hell, it was hard to work with that person, but did I learn? And if you dissect this situation, you will see that you learn more from the person that is hard on you, and the person that expects things from you, and the person that holds you accountable for what you agree to do, than the other person who doesn't do that. And if you really think about the difference between those two kinds of managers, you would think that the ones that made it hard for you and that expected a lot from you cared more about you than what the one that didn't expect that from you, that didn't drive you hard, that didn't push you a little further each and every day. A manager sits the intent test every day. Why? Because every time he asks a staff member to do something, the staff member unconsciously tests the person's intent. Is what he or she is asking me now, is that to serve his or her purpose, or is it to serve the purpose of the organization? And the staff member will each and every time, when he comes to the conclusion that the intent of the manager is pure, that the manager is making a values-driven decision and not a self-serving decision, the staff member will trust that manager more. The staff member will also go further for that manager than the one that is obviously comes over as self-motivated. The managers also take decisions every day, and the staff member will judge that decision by, is this a decision about what is the right thing to do, or is it a decision that is taken for the self-interest of that manager? By handing over control, the manager will also show the staff member that I actually trust you to do more than what you're doing today. And ladies and gentlemen, handing over of control is not application. Because you often see that people say, you want to do this job, take the job. Come, go and show me how you can do it. What you need to do is to have an incremental suspension of control. You give that person small steps to go there. Firstly, you find the right person to do the job. Secondly, you check that that person has got the tools to do the job. Tools being a computer, understanding of the process, desk and a chair to sit by. You tell the person at what standard and quality you require this job to be delivered. And the very important one is you also tell the person what will you do to him if he doesn't do it. What are you going to measure him by? How are you going to handle this situation if this job is not done? People absolutely want opportunities to prove themselves. And for me, that is one of the most important roles of a manager or leader of people, to actually create those opportunities for people. And the last point is, you keep them accountable for that. Why is it so difficult for people to actually manage accountability? Very difficult. Why? Because I want to be liked. I don't want you to think that I'm not a nice person. We didn't really agree on what the standard is. We didn't really agree on the time that you have available to do this. We didn't really agree on the overall ingredients or delivery or exactly what needs to be delivered. So, what am I saying? You need to have a contract with the staff member to know, so he or she knows what they're going to deliver, and that's what you measure by. Accountability requires testicular fortitude. They told me I can't say balls here. So it's the testicular fortitude. You need that to be able to keep people accountable for what you inquire of them. Ladies and gentlemen, trust is the currency by which you buy legitimate leadership. We rolled this out in Africa, 3 years ago. When we did the baseline testing, the engagement of the people were 26%, and by the way, don't say, oh, that's terrible. World standard is 28%. When we did it a year later, the engagement was 56%. Legitimate leadership is the trust that your people have in you, on condition that you play the game. Thank you very much.